Nova Scotia Duck. The Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever is a middle-sized easygoing and buoyant hunting dog with its homeland in Canada. Thanks to its naturally docile and affable personality, it also deserved reputation as a fabulous companion animal. This type of the retrievers can be relatively rarely found outside its native land. The unusual name of the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever was granted to the breed because of its skill to allure ducks and geese within shooting range by running excitedly on the shore. This hunting style is called tolling, and the primary tollers were foxes. Micmac Indians of Canada witnessed this kind of behavior in foxes when they came to the shores of reservoirs and performed weird acts to attract attention and lure closer the most foolish ducks. The Micmacs trained their dogs to emulate this behavioral pattern to adapt this hunting technique for humans. In the 19th century, Ingalls and Canadian hunters initiated the development of hunting dogs, which would specialize in bringing back to the hunter the shot waterfowl. These dogs were commonly referred as retrievers and bore the nicknames of their places of origin, for example the Labrador or the Chesapeake Bay. The hunters from Yarmouth County in southwest Nova Scotia's Little River district were inspired by the idea to develop the hunting dog, which would not only retrieve down birds from water but would also lure them to the shore. They masterly mixed the original Micmac Indian dog with such breeds as the Golden and Labrador Retrievers, the Chesapeake Bay Retriever, the Cocker Spaniel, the Irish Setter and the Collie. The resulting canine was granted with the name of the Little River Duck Dog. For several decades the Little River Duck Dog remained completely unknown outside the region where it was developed. However, in 1945 the Canadian Kennel Club formally accepted the breed under its current name, the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever. The International Cynological Federation gave the breed its formal recognition in 1982. The first specimens of the Nova Scotia dog were brought to the USA in the 60s of the 20th century, but they didn't induce much interest. The American Kennel Club recognized it in 2003. Presently this dog is still primarily acquired for hunting purpose, although it has all necessary traits to become an excellent family pet. The Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever is a hardworking, tough and strong hunting dog with exceptionally lovable temperament. It's prone to develop unflinching devotion to its family and wants nothing more than to be included in all its activities. Be mindful that this dog requires impressive amount of both mental and physical exercise, so it won't become an optimal choice for individuals who are inclined to the sedentary lifestyle. This breed is usually kind and careful with children who admire its boundless vigor. Nonetheless, the dog's communication with smaller kids should be closely supervised, since it won't tolerate any amount of roughhousing and may respond to it aggressively. The Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever is marked by human friendliness, so it will behave politely with strange people. Thanks to its alert and sensitive nature, it will always warn its master when someone is approaching to the door of his dwelling. That's why this dog can become a fairly dependable watchdog. Due to its good-naturedness and size, it should not be trusted with the duties of a guard dog. If you pay sufficient attention to socialization of your Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever, it will be fine with other dogs. Actually, this frisky dog would certainly prefer to have a constant playmate among other canines. It remains a hunter to its core and will view all other small creatures as potential prey objects. So the dog should always stay leashed while being walked. It won't act aggressively to a home cat with which it has been brought up since its puppyhood. But it may still chase it passionately in a playful manner, which is fairly stressful for cats. That's why it isn't recommended to keep the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever with other non-canine pets. The Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever requires basic care. This breed is a heavy shedder and will lose most of its dense coat during the spring and early fall. Be prepared that thick layer of the dog's hair will cover your carpets, furniture and clothing during these periods. In order to diminish the damage to your property, it's strongly advisable to brush this dog every 2 days once the intense shedding begins. During the rest part of the year, the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever should be brushed once a week to remove loose hair and to spread the natural skin oils. Bathe your dog as infrequently as possible, since in most cases to wipe it down with a damp towel will be enough to get rid of dirt. The docile and loyal Nova Scotia duck-tolling retriever is notable for exceptional trainability. Thanks to its inexhaustible supplies of energy, it usually performs at the highest level in all types of obedience and high-energy dog sports, including field trials, flyball and agility. Actually, this dog is capable of learning tricks of any complexity if the handler uses correct training techniques. The Nova Scotia duck-tolling retriever usually welcomes every opportunity to challenge its inquisitive brain. The learning process should include only positive reinforcement in the form of tasty treats and encouraging words. The breed specimen are not responsive to screaming or physical abuse, which may intimidate the dog in such a way that it will completely refuse to obey. The Nova Scotia duck-tolling retriever was bred to become an indefatigable working dog and won't be fully happy without substantial amount of vigorous and diverse physical activity. At the very least, it requires a brisk walk of an hour long each and every day. However, if you want your dog to be well behaved indoors, you should offer it much more meaningful ways to channel its exuberant energy. The best type of exercise for this dog's definitely luring and retrieving ducks and other waterfowl, although it's also acceptable to let it run and play unrestrained in a securely enclosed territory regularly. The Nova Scotia duck-tolling retriever tends to become completely unmanageable, willful and even aggressive when it has been provided with too few opportunities to exercise its body and mind.